Boom, 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 boom. Let's see if this works. Anyone there? Using new software. Hey, what is going on? Panda Express. JW, how are you? All right, let me see. Is this thing going yet? I see you see me. I'm using new software. There we are. Up and ready to go. Hello, hello, hello. I think a couple people got to sit through the ad at the beginning, and then they jump on here. The pig is good, Charles. Let me get over to a better thing to see the pig is good. Do that. Let's go to another one. So I'm using some new software. You can see if this works a little better. If you've ever done streaming, there's a couple different services that you could do it. OBS, which is free and most people use it, and then there's ones like Restream and StreamYard. Those two are what I've always used, but they seem to be dropping the ball lately. And this I got a nice thing from Eve. What is it called? EvuMux. EvuMux. And so we're trying out their software for streaming. We're gonna see how it works. Get all out here, right there. Boom, 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 boom. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. God damn it! I'm out of. Let me get this out of the way. I sound horrible. Let me see if this works better. That better? Seems like it. The wonders of new software. The mic is bad. Mic. How's it? Let me see. Sorry, guys. Hello, hello, hello. See it on YouTube. Nice. Okay, so that sounds a little bit better, I think, right? I don't know what button I hit, but okay. There we go. Sounds okay. Funny. Da, 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 da. Okay, let's get into this. Sorry about all that. It's new software and I'm doing it on the fly. Should have brought headphones in here, but oh well. Okay, here. Better house. Settle down. See if I can get some of these chats to show. Okay. Hey, Thomas from Henderson. How are you? I got some good friends there. A lot of people I know moved to Henderson. You know, they everyone says they're moving to Las Vegas, but really most of them moved to Henderson. Let's pull this in a little bit closer. So I've been off the haven't been doing this a couple weeks, so I'm a little sketchy on it at best. Good. Darth Gutierrez. Yeah, I was really kind of baffled by that whole thing in Reno. I mean, I've it last time I was there was 2018 maybe, and I only spent like 2 days there. Didn't really have a lot of time to spend. Now I'd gone there in the '90s, spent like a week there, and it just seems so much better back in the 90s. I don't know. I was a little disappointed in Reno. I hope they do come back. It is a great city, a lot of history there. But yeah, Toronto, I would say Henderson is a good place to retire. It's getting more expensive as time goes on, but I think, real estate prices are kind of flattening out, and I think they're going to go down a little bit in the next couple of years. I don't think it's going to be a big crash, but I think they're definitely going down in the next couple of years. Most places they are right now. But I think Henderson is a great place to retire if you don't want to go to Arizona. I mean, it's basically the same thing, but you got gambling. Do I think it's going to be a booming city in the next 10 years? I don't see it happening out in Indianapolis. The Midwest is growing, but a lot of the smaller cities are the ones that will see growth. Um, I think I talked about not Fort Myers, Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne's one that's on the verge of blowing up a little bit. Uh, there's a couple other places. Thanks, Pam. C. Pennsylvania. What part of Pennsylvania? Yeah. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. That's this new thing that apparently I've been dropping the ball on because I don't ask you guys to do a couple things. I barely ask you to subscribe. I never ask anyone to leave a comment, and I shouldn't say never. I do, but I, all the other YouTubers are pumping it, and apparently I'm dropping the ball when it comes to that. I'm not asking people to subscribe or join or any of that stuff. So please make sure you do. Thumbs up. Doesn't cost you anything. I've lost a little weight. Getting back to it. Um, got a ways to go. I basically gained a bunch of weight, had a stroke, and then gained a little more weight after the stroke because I couldn't really exercise and I was just eating and working. Southern California, Angie Madcat. How are you, Angie Madcat? I I don't know. We'll see if someone does a, what do you call it, super chat, and I don't see it. Please let me know because I'm not sure if the new software is going to show that. Any plans for the summer? Yeah, I got a couple different things planned. I got two cruises. I'm going to go out to Kansas City. I got Kansas City on the list this year. I've got Indianapolis. I've got Fort Wayne. And then I think I'm going to go up to Wisconsin for a couple days and go to Madison, do some videos there. Things like that. Thanks, George. My wife likes you, Briggs. My wife likes Briggs. Just stay the way you have been. Thank you. I've heard there's a couple places, Adam, in Canada that are having some real estate drops. A little dip in the market, a little gully. By the way, I always have to tell you guys because it looks like a beer. This is Death Water or whatever it's called, Liquid Death. It's like this one's sweet tea. I start saying stupid stuff when I'm drinking, so I would never drink on a live stream. How much do you? That's a good question. So, how much do you need to live a day in, or make a day to live in the Midwest? Depends on where you want to live and what kind of lifestyle you want to live. But there's some older cities that have been having problems that are coming back. And I mean, there are some places in the US right now where you could buy a home making minimum wage just about. Making $10 an hour, you could buy a home. We just did a video on it. They're not the greatest cities, they're not the greatest neighborhoods, but there are places in the United States where you could make 10, 12 bucks an hour and still afford a home. Now, sure, you're going to be making payments for 30 years, but there are places. Go back and watch that video I made, place where you buy a house for under $100,000. It's like 2 weeks ago. Great video, and those are the places. Got to crank up the volume, 100%. Okay, let me bring this up a little bit. All right, hopefully that's better. Let me see if this software lets me do anything else. Audio. Audio output, background noise reduction. Stereo audio input. To utilize this audio input, essentially deactivate echo canceling. Okay, let's do echo canceling, yeah. Let me know if that's a little bit better. Back the way it was. Should be okay. How's that? A little better? Let me turn up the volume on this, see what I sound like. See what I sound like. It's lower, not louder, huh? What the hell's going on with this? It's lower, not louder, huh? Sounds pretty good on this. Maybe I'm just insane. A-okay. Just moved Ann Arbor. Lower, not louder for me. Huh, weird. Just moved Ann Arbor. There's an echo now. That echoes because I was listening to myself over here. So that's what it was. Okay. Audio is fine. Okay. Except for the echo. It should be better now. At least I hope it's better now. I'm a mess, guys. I mean, you should know this by now. If you're new here, I'm usually doing things not in the best way. Good now. Sounds fine. Brookings, Oregon. We kind of looked at that a little bit when we were moving up to Oregon, but we wanted to get closer to Washington and Portland and all that. We had family up this way, so. But we did like Brookings. 50 states what? You know what? I just did a video on that a couple weeks back on the van life. Courtney Beard just applied for a behavioral health job in Pittsburgh. Anything I need to know? Pittsburgh's affordable. Pittsburgh's nice. Doesn't have a whole bunch of crime. Now, when I say that, people always think if it has any crime, it's a whole bunch of crime. No. Every place is going to have crime. It's just, do they have an extreme amount of crime? Pittsburgh does not. They have your typical crime. So, people are unrealistic. They always want to compare what I say to perfect, and I'm comparing it to other cities that size or whatever. It's ridiculous sometimes. Chicago ever run to its glory days? You could hope, but I think in reality, our big cities, until they start getting vacant again, which the world goes through a cycle, the United States, I should say. People move to the big cities, then the big cities start to suck, and they move to the suburbs, right? Now, people are getting sick of the big cities because a lot of people can work from home. A lot of people have digital nomad jobs. I mean, look at me. I could literally pack up everything I need to make videos in about 2 hours and go stay at a hotel and work from there, anywhere in the world, as long as I got an internet connection. So people are leaving the cities because they have less of a need for it. And instead of going to the suburbs as much, or I should say they still go to the suburbs, but a lot of people are finding smaller cities or smaller towns to move to that are maybe way away from the city. Suburbs usually means it's attached to a city, but Like we often think about moving to Cannon Beach, which Cannon Beach is 2 hours away from me right now towards the coast. I could work perfectly fine there. I have been to all 50 states, and we got a lot of people in the chat tonight. I'm getting a lot of people that are. Oh, Adam Weinstein, can you do a cruise out of KC? I think there's a river cruise. KC is on the Mississippi River, so there is a river cruise that goes through there. But I don't do river cruises. That'd be nice though. I don't see the point in river cruises. Basically, a river cruise, from my understanding, I haven't done one, so I'm just going off of what I've read, which I've read about them extensively. It's like having a tour company take you around, but instead of taking you from hotel to hotel on bus, they're basically moving the hotel up a river. And like if you do it in Europe, you're going to go to Paris, then you go to Berlin or whatever, things like that. And you visit all these really neat cities. So it's almost like being on a tour group or something where, I don't know, the ocean cruises, they just seem a little more festive, probably because they're bigger and they have more things to do. Where the river cruises are these long boats, usually 2, maybe 3 stories, because they got to go under a lot of small bridges. And my understanding is they're packed with older people. I'm an older person, I guess you could say, but I kind of act like a younger person most of the time. But Adam, thanks for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Especially these days. This is the slow time of the month. If you're a YouTuber, you probably already know your views are down right now. It sucks. Plus, it didn't help that I've been doing positive videos a lot lately. Channel always tanks when I do positive videos too much. So next week, I got I don't think it's negative terrible, but some of that. I'm also scaling back the sarcasm just a little bit. I'm missing a lot of comments, guys, and I do apologize in advance. Hello from Dalton, Georgia. I was just reading about something about Dalton, Georgia. Was that the place with the guy under the bed? No, I think that's Kansas. Babysitter, here's a kid that's like 5 or 6, says there's something under her bed. Every kid's complained about that since the dawn of time. So just to shut her up, the babysitter decides to look underneath the bed, and she sees a man under there. Turns out it was a guy that used to live there, like a roommate, and he needed a place to stay. So he's sneaking in the house and ended up sneaking under the bed. But what sucks is he had a restraining order to stay away from the property, so he's going to do some time. Missouri River. Oh, is it Missouri River? Did I get that wrong? Yeah, I'm an idiot. I said Kansas City's on the Missouri River or the Mississippi River. I was wrong. I had St. Louis in my head when I said that. Sorry. What do I think of Boise? I love Boise. Boise's a nice place to live. The locals aren't too keen about people moving in there, but like I always say, it's been going on since the dawn of time. I mean, California didn't start off totally crowded. People been coming from the Midwest, the South, and even the East Coast for decades and decades to California for new life. Well, everything has its cycle. And California is over, sort of, right now. I mean, people are still moving in there, just not at the rate they used to. And, you know, Boise gets their turn in a couple of years. Maybe it'll be Denver again. Maybe Billings, Montana will take up. Who knows? Everyone has their turn. It's part of being an American state, part of being an American. Oh, okay. Did I say I sound like I was planning a cruise out of KC? No, I'm going to KC, going to Indianapolis, going to a couple other places. Fort Wayne, like I said, Madison, Wisconsin, maybe Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Going to do a bunch of cities. And then I have some cruises also during the summer. What state is what state is going to explode that now that nobody talks like California in the 80s. Yeah. So I don't think any state's going to explode like California did in the 80s, 70s, 80s, and even into the 90s a little bit. Uh, I think not that it's bad, not that it's a bad state to move to. I think Texas is a little played out. So I mean, their growth was like this, and I think it's now like this. I think people have all the people that are going to move there pretty much move there. But I think the Midwest does have some places that are going to take off, but I think it's going to be the smaller cities. To tell you the truth. They're more affordable. They're nicer. Yeah, Pam, I think I'm a little young to have a stroke, but I mean, people have strokes at 20. So I think there's a lot of weird stuff going on with my body. When I was in the Army, I did a lot of steroids. So I don't know if that's part of it, but I always attribute the most of my ills to that stuff. It was readily available for us. I know it's kind of a conspiracy theory, but I think I got a lot of problems heading my way because of all that. Okay, let's catch up with the chat. I'm gonna Renee Salazar. Renee? Thank you very much, Renee. Renee's been with me for a very long time. She's my favorite New Jersey girl. Been with me for a long time. Sounds like we're dating, Renee. I am doing better. I thank you for asking, Mary. Get a little better. Had to start exercising more than I was. I was just kind of half-assing it, but getting there, getting there. Hello from Illinois, home of the strangest mascot. Ooh, ooh, strangest mascot. Now, there's a lot of weird mascots in the country. One of my favorites is Polka, West Virginia. They're the polka dots. Um, there's the Wiener Dogs in Kentucky. I think the best mascot and team name is Yuma, Arizona. They're the criminals. And there's a great backstory to that. So at one point in the early 1900s, late 1800s, their school had burned down or something like that for Yuma, their high school. So they started teaching classes out of a recently closed down prison they had there. So they were actually had classes in the prison. So they got this reputation. Then a newspaper in Phoenix said they cheated in a championship football game. I don't know if this is like early 1900s, and dubbed them the Yuma Criminals. Well, they liked it and it stuck, and they figured with the prison situation, taking classes there, might as well. And the homecoming king arrives in the back of a police car. Here's a good question. Do I think the tariffs are going to help the poor or medium class? I don't think they're a bad idea. That's my opinion. Um, uh, I know how it's affecting me. So I use a little DJI Pocket, right? A little camera, works great. One of the best cameras I've ever owned, and I own some very expensive cameras. Well, they were going for about $650, the newest one, the Pocket 3. And I bought one 4 or 5 months ago, maybe 6. And I thought, you know what? With these tariffs coming, it comes from China and Japan or whatever. Um, I better get an extra one just in case this one breaks. The price might go up. Prices already went up. $799 for that same camera that I bought 6 months ago. So I mean, that's just me. Ooh, wiener dog. Oh, wiener dogs. I love wiener dogs. They're the only animal on the planet that's actually shaped like its own poop. Is Portland's downtown getting better? Yes. Lived Lake Oswego as a youth. I love Lake Oswego. I want to win the lottery and buy one of those houses right on the lake. Oh, it's like my dream. But I've been down to Portland. I have not been down in the last 4 or 5, no, probably 2 months now. I've been through there, but I haven't gone down and looked around like I normally do. I should do that soon. But the new mayor is doing a lot of things, and my understanding is there's like no more tents on the sidewalk. We'll see. I'm going to go down and give a full report. Fighting artichokes. Scottsdale Community College. By the way, if you see me rubbing my nose and stuff like that, uh, hay fever, pollen season, you know. Why did you go hang out in Reno? My wife wanted to go to Cookie Con. If you don't know, my wife has a cookie channel where she decorates cookies, and she's trying to get it going. Well, they had a cookie convention. Yes, they have one. She went there. It was at the Pepper Mill, which is about, I don't know, 3 miles from downtown. So I went and walked around downtown for a couple days and made a couple videos. Any chance I have to go to a city, I do it. Like when I go on a cruise. Um, let's say it's out of Miami. I'll stop and I'll go a day early, start filming and do some videos around Miami. And let's say we go to any city. Yeah, I mean, maybe there's another American city on there. I'll go there and film around. I'm not going to go on excursions and stuff like that. My excursion is going in and looking at the city. So I do that a lot too. Any chance I get. I just like very much living in West Virginia. West Virginia's cheap. Great people there. Adam. I'm 79 and Callie won't get $1,000 a week. Late six. Oh wow. 3,000 a week. Whew. That is good. I mean, if nothing, the tariffs might bring some jobs back, and I mean that's the end game. And that's the theory. A lot of people have problems with this theory. I don't think it's the right way to do things myself. But if it brings back American jobs, we're going to have some pain in the beginning, but hopefully it works out. I mean, I always hope the best. I don't care who's in office, whatever the situation is, whatever lever they're pulling or whatever program they're putting in, I hope for the best. It never sounds great on the outside, but you hope it will work out. And that's what they're saying. Thanks for supporting the channel, Adam. I really appreciate that. But hopefully Ford will, bring up more jobs and all that other stuff. That's what we all got to hope for. Portland is high crime. Portland's had some crime in recent years. Okay, let me catch up. Roll Tide. Hyundai's building a new plant in the Midwest, so tariffs will get great. Sweet. Glad you're doing good. Thank you, Mary. Do I like Maryland? I like Maryland. Maryland's a beautiful state. Everyone just associates it with Baltimore, but when you get outside of the cities there, it's some beautiful countryside. Can I recommend a 3 to 4 day cruise? I think Princess has an Alaskan sampler. That's what I would try. It takes you to like Seattle, Vancouver, or Victoria Island. Takes you there. Then it takes you up to Ketchikan. That's a pretty cool cruise. I think it's like 3 days. But they have some other 4 day ones. You could find all kinds of 4 day ones going out of Miami to the Bahamas. I don't think there's any that go up in New England, out of like Boston or New York. But there are some Alaskan ones and there are some Miami ones. Actually, I'm going on one in August that goes from Vancouver, BC down to Los Angeles. So it's just straight. They're repositioning the cruise ship. So I'm going on that one. Those are nice. That one's like 4 days. I was not born in Oregon. I was born in Torrance, California. As far as the tariffs go, I think a better plan would be, and I always thought this. I had a economics teacher uh, when I was in college, or was he high school? Anyway, he said that if they really want to bring American jobs back, attach tax breaks to hiring Americans and building in the United States to make it so that these companies, it's worth their while. I mean, they're not moving jobs to China or Mexico or any place else to just because they like having places there. No, they do it for money. If you give them a financial incentive to build and keep jobs in the United States, why not? I mean, here's your tax break. You hire, 2,500 Americans at a decent wage, you get dot dot amount off the taxes. Most companies would go for it because they have more control over their product when it's built in the United States. Nike used to do almost everything in China and Taiwan, whatever, Vietnam actually too. But they had problems. There's people stealing their tech. There's people stealing their shoes before they were released, things like that. So now all their high-end stuff is built in the United States, mostly at Beaverton over here, not too far from my house. Worked in that warehouse or that factory for a while. That's my opinion. And was never good at math, and I've taken a couple of economics classes, and I have my opinions. That's about it. Wow, we got a lot of comments in here tonight. I heard someone open the hatch upstairs. Maybe they're not coming down. In case you don't know, I am in a bomb shelter. Adam Weinstein again. Ecotarian tariff always cause higher prices and job losses. It's the worst thing. Yeah, since Brexit. Yeah. Um, you know, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you to an extent. But like I said, I just hope for the best. I'm hoping they've got a bigger plan. But I mean, tariffs never worked. Even Ronald Reagan said they don't work. He said they work for a short time, but in the end, you just have reciprocal tariffs, and it's a nightmare. Very true. See, that's the thing about companies. Companies aren't rich. They're beholden to their stockholders and their board, and those people want to see new numbers every single month. That, in my opinion, I watch this whole thing about American companies. Back in the 50s and 60s, it was usually an engineer of some sort that was the CEO of a company. Now it's financial guys. So moving numbers around and moving money around is really what most of these companies are doing. And sure, some of them are building stuff, but if you look down at the core of it, it's like Ford. Ford sells a car, but they make a ton of money off their finance. It's all about money. It's all about numbers. And even though these companies are terribly rich, there's always people that just want to be richer. No one sits there and goes, you know what? I make $4 million a year and that's it. I mean, people do that all the time, but no companies do. We made $4 million profit last year. That's good enough. Nobody does that. They always want to grow their business. I mean, my channel, and I like to think I'm a pretty much down-to-earth person that I don't think I'm terribly greedy, but this channel started doing really well. And I've always wanted to get it better and better. And the way you judge better is by views, and views mean money. So, I mean, we all have it in us. It's too bad. Yeah, you know what, Sunshine Lady, I'm going to get back to those. I have three that I got to record. It's just been busy traveling and stuff like that. So another thing is, like I'd said earlier, the views on World According to Briggs, really on most channels, are way down. So I've had to slow down a couple other things so I could focus all my energy on World According to Briggs. So yeah, feel free to go back and watch old videos. Yep, it's called capitalism for a reason. About making the most money. That is a fact, Jack. Can you tell us what you think about Tulsa, Oklahoma for artists and musicians, job opportunities? Thank you, Briggs. Actually, Mario, Tulsa is a pretty good place when it comes to arts. You wouldn't expect it for Oklahoma. Tulsa is pretty good when it comes to that. Tulsa, Tulsa got some crime. Tulsa got a whole lot of poverty, but it's a good place for an artist, I think. A lot of people just think Oklahoma is a lot like, I don't know, the Midwest or, Texas. It's not. They've kind of got a hippie vibe a little bit to them. But really, I think it comes from their just want to be left alone and live their life type attitude. Okay, so Dave, this is going to stir some feathers. Chicago, in my opinion, has the best pizza on the planet. A lot of people don't see it that way. I definitely do. I've had some people angry at me because I say that. Well, thank you, Miss Watkins. I appreciate that. Is that Panja? Story here. Well, apparently the people that built this house thought they needed a bomb shelter. When I moved in, it took me about 3 years to clean it up, and here I am. Guam. I've never done it. I know I've done one video on territories, and I've mentioned Guam. One of the most interesting historical facts that I always remind people. Do I think the world needs peace? Absolutely. As someone who's put some rounds down range in the Army, I think it's really needs to be something we need to focus on. Yes, I know what a resource-based economy is. But anyway, so Guam, interesting story. Not a lot of people realize this, but about the time Pearl Harbor was being attacked, within hours, Guam was attacked at the same time. A few other small islands were attacked. It wasn't just Pearl Harbor. It was a whole thing. And they actually took over Guam, the Japanese did, and they held it for a while. The Guamanese, I'm not sure what they call them, the Guamanians, they were instrumental in taking that island back. Those people knew their jungle. They basically, not chauffeured, but guided the Americans around. What city has the most homeless camps? If you're talking about the most, it's going to be Los Angeles. Los Angeles has the biggest crowd of homeless people, the biggest population. Now, if you're talking about per capita, I don't know which one it is offhand. I know it was Portland for a while, then Seattle for a while, and I'm sure Los Angeles was in that mix too. New York. New York and Los Angeles have the most homeless, and that's just because they have the most people. Guamish? Is that what it is? Japanese were brutal. They're wonderful people now and stuff like that. And countries at war and during World War II, I find it hard. You can't hold things against people there. But if you read up on the things they did to people in Japan, not like we were, perfect during World War II, but when you find out what the Japanese soldiers did to the civilians and people like that, it's a different story. You start looking at them a little bit different. Matter of fact, that was one of the reasons Harry S. Truman decided to drop the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. He figured they weren't playing by the rules, so he's not going to either. And, they had all these atrocities they had done. There's a lot of reasons, but that was what played into it also. Read this whole thing on it. Pretty interesting. That I do not know, David. No idea. Where does this show me how many people are in the chat? 172. How many likes we got? Boop, 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 boop. 120. Everybody hit that like button. I'm going to come over and give your poodle a Charlie horse. Take that, Fluffy. It's a Charlie horse. Why is Florida conservative now? Well, southern states tend to be that way. It's just a lifestyle, and that's the way they like it. It's based on religion, and I don't want a more simple life, and that, in my opinion, comports a little bit better with the conservative values. Now, it's not everyone. That's just an overall thing. Yeah, that's another thing too. Florida has a lot of rural. Everyone only hears about, Jacksonville, Tampa, and Miami. They don't realize that a lot of that state is backwoods. One sec. Had to really scratch my nose real quick, and I think you guys needed to see that. I've no idea. I lost that one. Hold on a second. How many megatons can my bunker take? Probably not many. Barry Riley. Yeah, well, I am glad to hear that. Thank you very much. Love the name Riley. Always have. Knew a very, very attractive young lady when I was younger named Riley. She was gorgeous. Very sweet, too. And there was this older guy on my block when I was a kid, and I looked up to him, and his name was Riley. So I've always liked the name. When you have two positive things, three positive things, whatever, about a name or a place for that matter, you really like it. Adam. Homeless per capita, 35, one guy, one dude. Yeah, that's about the truth. State with the most. Oh, so this is one I've wanted to do for a while. State with the most passionate sports fan. I think feverish, or what's the word? Fanatical. Um, I think that's most fanatical. You got to look at the Green Bays, the Clevelands, Pittsburgh, um, Dallas, believe it or not. That's where you're going to find the most rabid NFL fans, at least. You go to Boston, New York, Toronto, Calgary, you'll see some rapid hockey fans. Montreal. Basketball, in my experience, since it's basically the only big show in town, is the Portland Trailblazers. Their fans go insane. Now, obviously, the big ones, the Lakers, the Celtics, they're going to have their fans too. But surprised that a small city like Portland, with their small basketball team, the people go there. They pack that place. I, I'm hoping the Brown Stadium does go through. They need a roof, so I'm on board with that. In my experience, it's been Los Angeles. That's been the worst homeless situation. By the way, where was it? Adam, I appreciate you supporting the channel again. So, what is the best states, motorcycle roads, and camping? In my opinion, it's my opinion. I think the desert states suck for that. If you're gonna take a motorcycle ride, you want a little bit windy roads, and you want to see some beautiful things. Anywhere along the Great Smoky Mountains, be great. Denver, or I mean the Rockies, any place there, Colorado, that'd be great. But once you start getting into the Dakotas, Wyoming, past the Rockies, things like that, and Kansas, I don't think those are good road trips. It's just too flat. If I'm on a motorcycle, I want to see some stuff. I'm heading. If I want a really good ride, I'm gonna head up to the Great Smoky Mountains, even the Catskills. Catskills are beautiful. The better Hawaii. Hey, Paul Orr, thank you. I'm an Idahoan. Moved to Louisiana, then to Texas. The higher teach shoots out. Oh, that makes sense. After a year, I'm moving back to Louisiana. Very underrated. Yeah, Louisiana has its problems. Thank you for supporting the channel, by the way, Paul. Louisiana has its problems, but I mean, most of the people are, again, like that Southern thing I was saying, very simple, very basic, not in a bad way. They just don't like to overcomplicate their lifestyles. And that's good. So, I mean, Louisiana's affordable. Can't beat their affordability. I don't think there's many states that are more affordable than them. What state has less crime than Mexico or Canada? Well, Mexico's a different story because they got cartel problems all there. In Canada, I mean, they do have crime, but compared to the United States, I don't think we have many major cities that are higher than any of their cities. I looked at that about a year ago, and I was kind of shocked. It was like their most dangerous city, I think, would be our. Don't quote me. I remember it being like 17 or 27th. So, yeah, compared to the United States, they don't have much crime. So I did do a video about the most walkable cities in the United States. Did it about 3 years ago, and it did horrible. Maybe if I figure out a better way to go at it and try it again, but it did horrible. Okay, I have a problem reading all caps, so I want to take it easy with that. How difficult is it to get disabled people to legitimate, passionate, honorable, tangible help they need? That's another one I did a video, and I'm sorry if you have a disability. I did a disability one and talked about the laws and which states it would be for. Again, the video did horrible. Now I've been asked many times to make that video, and it was horrible. I mean, I thought it was pretty interesting. It's like I think, God, I mean, it was horrible. States for people with disabilities. Where was that one? I actually think I took it down. It did so bad. Yeah, I think I did. I'm talking, okay, so if a bad video for me the first day is going to make under 20,000, usually between like 17 and 20,000. That's a horrible video. A good video the first day will make 120,000, 150,000, somewhere in there. I remember the first day of that video, 7,000 views. I'm like, well, that wasn't good. Now, sure, if you're a channel that only has 10,000 subscribers, that's a good video. But when you're used to one thing and you get that, you're like, oh, shock to the system. All right, let me catch up here. Yeah, that's very true. It's your family unit. How close are you to family? Have you heard from Nick Johnson lately? Yeah, I talked to Nick 2 weeks ago, maybe 10 days ago, something like that. Nick's a good guy. I mean, I know a lot of people. There's this. I don't know if it's a riff, but some people get on here. Oh, Nick, I don't like Nick and his politics. And then some people on Nick's channel say the same thing about me. But in reality, Nick's a pretty good guy. I like Nick. We have a good time when we hung out and stuff. So, when you're a YouTuber, you always look at your stats, right? And we were at VidCon, and me and him are sitting at this bar, and I didn't realize it, but I pulled up how much I was making that month, right? And I set my phone down, and it was just up there. And I see Nick lean over and flip my phone. Oh, what's that? And he's all, you had your income up there. He goes, I don't know if you were trying to flex on me or I don't know. No, not all. I didn't realize I'd done that. So that was pretty funny. He's like, oh, this guy doesn't need to be showing this. He's a good guy, though. Best day for retired military. So I did that video, and I went by the VAs, what the cities actually it was. Now, I've always known San Antonio was the best city if you're retired. I mean, with the hospitals, the bases, and all that. San Antonio, if you're retired, move there. It wasn't on their top 10 list. It was like number 15. Well, that doesn't make sense. Oh, Devil, Fort Sill. Oh, I hate Fort Sill. I was only there like 6 months. No, not even that. 3 months, and I was like, I need to get out of here. And that was like on day 2. Just a quick thing, just say me or whatever. How many of you actually watch shorts? That's actually what me and Nick were talking about the other day. I mean, I have a normal than average audience, subscribers, whatever, viewer base, and they don't seem to dig them. But every time I talk to them, like my YouTube rep, they're all, you got to do shorts, got to do shorts. And they've kind of recently, well, if it's not working for you, but they were always all, you got to do shorts, you got to do shorts. Me. Retired and thinking about buying a mobile home. Can you do video on mobile homes? The good, the bad, and the ugly. Oh, John Oliver did the ugly one already. If you ever get a chance, watch that. Type in on YouTube, John Oliver mobile homes. He did not make that look very pretty. I mean, I've known people. My mother-in-law had one. She was fine there. She didn't mind it. When she tried to get rid of it, that was a pain. And actually, John Oliver brings that in to his subject, how people don't really buy them or sell them. They end up leaving the mobile home park and leaving their thing there, and then the mobile home park basically sells it to someone else. Walking videos, that's something I always wanted to do in the early days. I just want to go to cities and walk around because I got that camera I was talking about. It's got a gimbal on it, so it looks like you're just floating down the street. Always wanted to do those. I just don't think they'll get the views. Wife likes them more than you do. I get trapped on shorts scrolling up. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think people are getting tired of the AI thing. The AI voice. I'm getting more and more people telling me thank you for not doing AI and all this other stuff. I might use AI for a picture or something to add accent to a video, maybe something like that. I'm not going to do a whole video using AI or ever use it for my voice. Unless I have like throat cancer. Do you like Australia? Went there years ago. God, when I go? 87? Yeah, it's been a while. I might. Yeah, that might be a good one. I think I've done something like that before. Yeah, I don't all have all the facts on mobile homes, but definitely watch that thing from John Oliver. Keep in mind he's a comedian, but he's telling you the truth, what he found. Don't like shorts. Got it good. Have questions about opening tagline. Got it good. Where does that come from? It comes from a Danny Kaye movie. I have a short actually of that because people always ask, where's that come from? When I was a kid, I used to love all the Danny Kaye movies. I'd stay at my grandmother's house and watch them. They're like on Channel 5 in Los Angeles. And she always loved him, thought he was a great entertainer. So whenever one was on, she'd tell me and we'd watch it. It was great. But Danny Kaye was a very talented man, and his movies are from like the 1950s. But they were good. What was that one called? Joker or something like that. The court jester. So he's talking to a guy, and they're trying to get into the palace. And this guy, maybe I can play it. I don't know if you can hear this. That's where it comes from. And when I was a kid, I thought that was hysterical, and I just always used to say it. And now I say it every day. Danny Kaye was a good dancer. Favorite state is Arizona, Hawaii. My favorite state is Oregon, Pennsylvania, or Wisconsin. Vermont. I love Vermont too. Willamette. Willamette. Yeah, I hate that too. Housed in Seattle. Start a podcast to bypass and expose sham mental health circus. Hoping someone will reach out to you. Yeah. I keep talking about getting my podcast going. I've got basically those stories from America things. I have a podcast of about 10 of those, and I just never have the time to do it. It's like I have too many things going on. I wish I had time for everything. You watch shorts, Mary? Upstate New York, if you can get to the Finger Lakes area, Paul, definitely go see that. It's one of the most beautiful parts of this country. One of these days, I'm glad that we don't have like 500 people in the chat, but I think the most we've ever had is about 450 people. I tuned into some other people, and they got like 1,500, and their channels aren't really bigger than mine. This new software, by the way, we're gonna have some new things coming up with it. I just got to learn how to work it. They've got some new like games, like a spinning wheel thing. It's pretty cool. Halfway. Gavin Newsom ruined California. They've been saying that since I was a kid. Whatever the governor is, whoever it is, he ruined it. You hear it all the time. Oregon is very nice. I love Oregon. So here's a funny thing. Someone just said this. What state has the best infrastructure? Well, I'm going to tell you on Monday what state has the worst infrastructure. Actually, yeah. Actually, city. And if that one does well, then we're going to do the state. That's California, Bell. I was looking at this thing when they tried to recall him a couple times, or one of the times they did. There's been a recall effort for every single California governor since the 1930s. Every single one has faced some form of recall, whether and it always seems to get on like the ballot or almost to the ballot, or never gets enough signatures. But there's always a movement to get rid of the governor of California. The reason is, at least the guy that wrote the article, he had a good point. There's too much money to be made in California, and everyone wants their own governor in there so they can make more money. Boom, Paratrooper 1. Thank you very much. My super chat wouldn't buy and send unless. Oh, there you go. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I appreciate it. And I have nothing to do with that. If it charged you $50, um, worth $50, pass along the entire best wishes. Thank you very much. My son in June's going in the Air Force. He's breaking the family mold. Normally, well, my dad was in the Navy, but most of my family, grandfather and stuff like that, they were all in the Army. I was in the Army. My oldest son was in the Army, and my youngest son, who's pretty sharp, he decided to go in the Air Force. So I'm like, all right, you do you, buddy. I really appreciate that paratrooper one. Your wife is Filipina. Glad I could do that for you. Gary, Indiana sucks. So I've told this story before in case you haven't heard. I was in the Army with a guy from, or two guys from Gary, Indiana. And both of them basically left because they didn't want to die on the streets there. And one, sadly, he made it to 57 or so. He just died of cancer. Good guy. We did this whole thing where we were just going, cruising through the woods one night. Um, and it was raining. We're just soaked to the bone. And we get to this wall. We got to climb over this wall. We climb over this wall, and it's a ledge. There's just nothing but mud. As soon as we go over there, we're in the mud. Freaking machine gun starts firing over our head. And I look over, and I always remember looking at him, seeing him. And he's just like, what the fuck? He just had the greatest look on his face, and I started laughing. But we crawled back over the wall, by the way. McMuffin is good. I was down there a little while ago. Gave her some belly rubs and asked her if she wanted to go outside. She had no desire to go outside. It's a little too warm for her. She likes slightly cold weather. Best state for trade work, in my opinion, usually any place that's got a lot of construction going up. Briggs, what's your favorite 22 caliber? Why? Who shoots a 22? What do I consider warm weather? For Oregon, anything out of like 60s, low 60s, that's kind of warm. When we start getting the 70s, people start to melt. When you get into the 80s and 90s for 2 weeks during the summer, it gets ugly around here. What country has the most green energy? Um, oh, good luck, Denzel. I think it's Sweden, and it's the no, yeah, Sweden, because they are very into their thermal stuff. They have a lot of hot springs, stuff like that, and they harness a lot of energy from those geothermal energy. Boom, Holiday 197. Would you consider making a video on states that never came to fruition but were close? That's never panned out for them. That's a good thing. Well, so Texas, California were probably close. Okay. So you're talking about like they want the greater Ohio thing, or they want to split California into four pieces and all that. sort of like what they did with Virginia and West Virginia. That's what you mean? That's a good subject. I'd have to think of a way to approach it. Paul, or thank you, but thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. Um, Paul, or I'm guessing New Orleans has one of the worst infrastructure. Absolutely. They're horrible. I mean, besides all their other problems, um, with their water and just it's horrible. Their streets are a freaking mess. I would not want to drive my car in New Orleans. My next cruise is just a 3-day to Mexico out of Los Angeles. Good, Casper. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys are trying to build a channel or you ever thought about starting a YouTube channel, I do have Doing It with Briggs. That's another channel I have. I've just started putting up videos on there again. So I put it very basic. I don't get all technical. I try and keep it as basic as I can so the total noob understands what I'm talking about. Empire Builder. Oh, I'll retire from programming and work on the Amtrak Empire Builder. I met a Twitch streamer. He was one of the car attendants on one of my trips on the Empire Builder. I think last I heard, he was on the Lakeshore Limited. But he's like, yeah, I just want this to blow up, so I quit working for Amtrak. And I'm thinking, I'd love to work for Amtrak. But Paul, again, thank you for supporting the channel. Good night, Denzel, if you're still here, buddy. I'd missed that. Um, Naked Alien, thank you very much. I miss what you said. In the Seattle area. I don't know anyone up there. Help. I've talked to Nick about going on a live stream. Yeah, me and him have always talked about doing videos together, and we never get around to it. Gary, Indiana is home to the Jackson 5. You are correct. Iceland? I am thinking about Iceland. Thank you very much. It wasn't Sweden. Thank you for covering that for me. Yeah, they're the ones. Iceland does all the geothermal stuff. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so, hey, Joyce of San Joaquin, didn't see you. Briggs, your next live stream. Oh, you're the one sent. Sorry. I got two different screens going on here. I got to figure out how to use this because this one with the new software, the writing's kind of small. State of Franklin. Yeah. I just read something they were going to name Washington State something else. They were going to name it Columbia. But they had the District of Columbia, and they figured it would be too confusing because Washington has the Columbia River right there. I think I'm getting the story right. So they decided, screw it, name it after Washington. Great story. I had a drill sergeant who said I forget what city he came from, but he came from the inner city someplace. And he said when he got out of basic training during Vietnam, his drill sergeant was all, where are you going? He goes, I'm going back home to Washington. And he goes, Washington? Because apparently they didn't have a base for whatever his MOS was at the time. I think it was infantry. Grabs his paperwork and goes, Washington? You're going to Washington? He goes, yep. That's where he's from. He's from Washington, D.C. And the drill sergeant goes, "You know, there's a state called Washington on the other side of the country, right?" And he's all, "There is?" He had no idea. Back then, they used to let you in without a high school diploma. He's a good drill sergeant now. Oh, good. Changing winds. All right, guys. It's about time for me to wind this down because I'm getting hungry. And my wife is home. I hear her stomping around up there. So I appreciate you hanging out with me. I'm going to start doing this thing where I might have a Saturday video to upload. If I don't, I'm going to live stream. So either next week you're going to get a Saturday video or you're going to get a live stream. I appreciate you all and everyone. Thanks for all the super chats and everything. It's been a slow month on YouTube, and I really, really appreciate that. Things are changing on YouTube, and what it is I'll run over this with you real quick. The AI people, the AI channels are killing our views, and I don't like it. Not happy, and I don't want to switch over to AI stuff and doing thumbnails with girls with AI girls with giant boobs like this, like they're doing. I think it's tacky, and I don't like doing that stuff. I don't mind putting a woman on there, cute one, but I'm not going to do these over the top girls out to here. It's rude. So yeah, we're finally losing battle against AI here on World Recording Rigs, but I appreciate you all being here. If not anything, go back and watch some of my older videos. And don't forget to leave a comment and give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other. Really appreciate you.